Okay, so welcome everybody. My name is Brenda Herrera. I am the facilitator for this session. Um, I'm going to thank you for joining us, and I'm going to hand this over to our first panelist, Cassidy Claire.
Right on. Good evening, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all very quickly. Okay, cool beans. So I'm Cassidy, guys. I represent the University of Houston. So I'm regionally based. So I live in Los Angeles. So if any of you guys are applying from California and you have questions, I am your person to answer them. So the University of Houston is located in none other than Houston, Texas. We're about 10 minutes from downtown Houston. I would say we're about a moderately selective institution with an average incoming GPA for freshmen of about 3.65. So I hate to break it to you guys, but Houston is not a college town, so it is a large hustle and bustle city. So Houston is actually the fourth largest city in the nation. It is the most diverse city in the nation. 49% of our student body were the first in their family to go to college, so we're very proud of that. We are also the second most diverse college, public college campus in the nation. So in terms of internship opportunities in the city, you have a lot of really cool things. Of course, for students that are interested in the health sciences, you have the world's largest medical research center in the city of Houston, so the Texas Medical Center. We do have a membership over there. So certainly their internship and research opportunities are available to our students. You have 24 Fortune 500 companies. Of course, you have NASA in Houston. So for all of these different reasons, Houston is considered the #1 city for a student to start their career. So I will talk academics, and I will just briefly touch on some of our most popular majors, and then I'll get into some of our pathways for students interested in the health sciences. But before that, I'll explain that 38,000, we are a large school, so 38,000 undergrad on our campus. However, our average class size is about 32 students, and our student to faculty ratio is 21-1. So while we are a big school, you'll definitely have access to that large school school spirit, and football games and tailgating and all of that, the large school experience. You also still have access to small school learning environment. So we are a research school. We have 16 academic colleges, over 120 different majors, and 5 professional schools. Some of our most popular majors are in architecture, business, engineering, and of course, the health sciences. So whether it's pre-medicine, pre-nursing, pre-optometry, pre-pharmacy, we certainly have you covered. So, oh, that's crazy. Why would that happen? Oh my goodness. Okay, so of course we have our pre-health advising center. So if you guys just bear with me really quickly, I'll try to get this together. Okay, there we go. So of course our pre-health advising center is kind of your resource for students that are interested in pre-health. So whether it's pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-optometry, pre-pharmacy, nursing, physician's assistants, physical therapy, occupational therapy, we have dedicated staff that work there full time, and their sole job on campus is to help students navigate their way into either one of these professional schools. So they're helping you pick the right courses, they're helping you plan out your coursework, they're helping connect you to the appropriate internship opportunities, so that way you're a great candidate for whether it's medical school or dentistry school or wherever it is that you want to end up. So I'll go over some of the majors. So I want to make the point, I'll go back to this slide. I want to make the point that your degree is not going to say pre-medicine or pre-nursing or pre-dentistry. These are more so a resource, but in terms of the things that you'll major in, so within our College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, you have several options. A lot of students like to do biology. We see some students doing chemistry. We also have a unique program in mathematical biology. We offer a BA and a BS in biochemical and biophysical sciences. And then certainly by us being a research institution, most of these programs are going to be research oriented. However, in our College of Technology, we have perhaps our most practical pathway into medical school or wherever it is you're trying to go, which would be biotechnology. So it is strongly interdisciplinary. And you'll study things from biology to engineering to robotics. And so we like to stress that it is application-oriented research. So while you definitely will have these research opportunities and you'll be encouraged to take these opportunities, it is a little bit more practical in terms of the things that you're learning. So our program specifically has an emphasis on environmental biotechnology. And then of course in our College of Engineering, we have our biomedical engineering program. It is a research-oriented program. Over 60% of the students in that program do research before they graduate. And I would say what would set that program apart from other biomedical engineering programs would be their proximity to the Texas Medical Center. And then these are just some examples to the right of some of their research efforts that they have going on in that department right now. So then, of course, within our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, so we like to stress that, particularly for students that are interested in medical school, you don't necessarily need to major in biology. Those types of programs and the biotechnology, biomedical engineering, those types of programs are great for students that know that they want to do medical research. However, if you're more so interested in becoming a doctor for the patient care aspect, you don't necessarily need to take some of those higher level math classes that those more research oriented programs are going to require you to take. So if that sounds like you, then you can still be a student in our pre-med program or any one of our pre-health advising programs, and you can be a part of our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. So perhaps the most popular pathway in that department is going to be our health program. So they have a BA and a BS. Some students study kinesiology or fitness and sports, depending on what it is that you want to do. And then it can be research oriented, but it does not have to be. You can certainly be a student that is more inclined towards internship opportunities. We offer established partnerships with the MD Anderson Cancer Research Center. Keep in mind, Houston is the cancer research capital of the world as well. And also their clinic for pain and rehabilitation. And then the Children's Nutrition Research Center at Baylor's College of Medicine are just some examples of some of the established internship partnerships that we have for students to take advantage of. So then, of course, we have a lot of students. We have our pre-physical therapy program. We don't have a college of physical therapy or a school of physical therapy, but I think Houston is a great place to study physical therapy because it is kind of it's a city that loves its sports, right? So you have the Houston Texans, you have the Houston Rockets, and of course we have D1. All of our programs on campus are Division I, so you certainly have opportunities to work with athletes in the city. So then, of course, perhaps our premier pathway for students that are interested specifically in medical school would be within our Honors College, their Medicine and Society program. So this is a great program for students that are interested in biology, but also kind of might have an interest in public health. So in this program, you're going to take the biology classes, you're going to take the more STEM-oriented classes, but you're also going to take classes that will kind of help you understand the different historic and cultural factors that influence the practice of medicine today. So you're going to kind of be taking sociology classes, economics classes, political science classes, public policy classes, alongside your biology coursework. I would say that this is a really good opportunity for students to connect with industry professionals. And of course, it improves your chances of getting placement into whatever health profession school that you want to go into. Now, that's not to say that if you're not a part of the Honors College that you absolutely can't go to medical school or can't go become a dentist, but just kind of being in this smaller environment, you have more one-on-one attention. And so in that sense, the resources are just a little tiny bit more accessible. Awesome. So then of course we have our College of Nursing. They are direct entry this year, as of this year. So this is their first direct entry class. We're very excited about that. Oh, all right. So it can be research oriented, but it doesn't have to be. You can certainly focus more so on the practical training aspects. So the way that it works is you'll apply after your sophomore year. So you'll come in to us as pre-dentistry, or pre-nursing, I'm sorry. You'll come in as pre-nursing, and then so long as you meet the requirements, you have all the right course requirements, you have the GPA, you can go on apply and then formally begin our nursing program. So we say it's direct entry, you're applying directly to the pre-nursing program. because we admit all of our students directly into their desired programs. And then of course, I'll just briefly go over some of our professional schools before I hand it over. We have a College of Nursing, we have a College of Optometry, we have a College of Medicine that just accepted its very first class, and we also have a College of Pharmacy. And then admissions criteria, we are an assured admissions school. So if you meet these admission requirements, then you're guaranteed to be accepted. Of course, we will be test optional this year. And the way that that will work is if you're in the top 25% of your class and you have above a 3.4, you're automatically accepted. If you're in the top 26 to 50%, you will need a 3.45 to qualify for assured admissions. And if you fall outside of that, then we of course invite you to submit your 2 letters of rec, your personal statement, and your resume. And the last thing I will leave you guys with is that if you are towards the top 25% of your class and you are about a 3.65 GPA, you'll be a good candidate, a great candidate for our out-of-state tuition fee waiver, meaning you'll only pay our in-state as opposed to our out-of-state tuition, and our in-state tuition is $4,500 a semester. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to our next presenter, and I'll stop sharing my screen right now.
Perfect. Thank you, Cassidy. My name is Cody Clements, and I'm an admissions counselor from Westminster College. And so similar to Cassidy, I have a little presentation that hopefully pulls up and goes smoothly for you all. And if not, we can curveball. And I think that's something we've all kind of gotten used to. So I'm representing Westminster College. If you haven't heard of Westminster College before, it's a private independent liberal arts college that's located in Salt Lake City, Utah. We are a smaller campus. We have about 2,215 students currently. And so that's the nice thing about this presentation tonight is each one of these schools has just a vastly different feel, a vastly different environment. So you get to hear from all of us and you can decide, hey, I like what this person's saying, or this is where I see myself thriving. And if another option isn't, then that's okay too. And so as you're listening, I would just take notes about things that you enjoy and maybe things that you really didn't enjoy. And so as a liberal arts institution, I think one of the things we get confused about the most is that students ask us, they say, isn't this just for English majors, or isn't that only dance majors, or is this just baristas? And all of those things are great things, first of all, but we're most certainly not just those things. We have all the various sciences, the soft sciences, the hard sciences. What liberal arts is, it's where you're studying one subject from multiple perspectives. So kind of like what Cassidy was saying, you don't have to just be a biology major or a chemistry major to go into whatever kind of medical field you want to go into. You can explore with being a dance major and being a bio major and doing all these different career paths. But anyway, so if you want to be a medical doctor, it's important that you have bedside manner. It's important that you understand psychology, that you can present data, that you can be with people, but also we want to make sure that you understand the anatomy of the body and kind of all of these other really important things. And so Westminster's identity, again, is that we're private, independent, and liberal arts. There's a couple different suggested majors for students that do want to enter healthcare. Again, as you're looking at these healthcare programs, there are going to be different classes you're going to need, like organic chemistry, biochemistry, all these ones you're probably familiar with. But if you are looking for more of kind of the typical nursing background majors, and when I said nursing, I meant just health in general. So we have nursing and direct entry nursing. We have RN to BS. We have a public health major, which I think with COVID-19 and everything else going on in the world may be more important than ever. We have a neuroscience major, a biology, chemistry, and then we have pre-professional health. So that's a question I bet everybody in the room tonight gets a lot is like, what's the quickest way to become a doctor? There isn't some 4-year program or 2-year program that you can become. You want to be a biology major, a chemistry major, whatever major suits you, you'll enter the pre-professional health track at Westminster, again, which is this advising track where you're meeting with a faculty advisor that says, hey, based on your interest, these are the kind of classes you're going to want to take. And when you're taking the MCAT or whatever, the GRE, whichever kind of preparation test that you need to get to your next steps, they'll let you know, hey, you want to take this, start studying in your 2nd year, take it in your 3rd year, and all of the different steps that you would need along the way, you would have a faculty member to be there to help represent you. But again, as Cassidy said, pick the major that you want to do, because it can still most likely get you to those steps that you need. One of the program highlights I wanted to read about our nursing program is it says our nursing program encompasses an ever-changing routine of lab simulations and classroom discussions that teach you to think on your feet and prepare ahead. Professors aren't here to lecture, they're here to coach and mentor. In fact, every student is assigned to a faculty advisor who checks in frequently to make sure students have what they need to thrive. Our faculty are student-focused, not focused on research and grant writing. This allows them to create an environment that inspires meaningful discussions, hands-on learning, and critical thinking. So I love this description that the nursing program uses. I think it captures our institution as a whole. I think it captures our nursing program. But again, these teachers, these professors, they're there because they want to teach first. So we're a teaching-based institution. And especially for something as hands-on as health and nursing and everything that goes along with that, those are all hands-on fields. And so it's great that you have the instructors who are also living the life as nurses and doing these other things. And so the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit is just direct entry nursing. So Westminster does have a direct entry nursing program. And what that means is pretty similar to what Cassidy said. You apply to go into the nursing program, and it usually takes students about 2 years to get all of their prerequisites done. But once you complete those prereqs, then you'll have your spot reserved in the nursing program. And so direct entry nursing, we have that deadline of December 1st and the final deadline of Feb 1. And so deadlines are something you always want to make sure that you pay attention to. This year, Westminster is test optional as well. And the exciting thing is that for both our honors college and direct entry nursing, test scores also are not required. And so we enjoy looking at the candidates as your holistic selves. And so know that for Westminster's direct entry nursing, you won't need to submit your test scores. Westminster also has a free application, so that's always exciting. Just if you're exploring, you're not totally sure, you don't have to invest money to find out if you're going to be admitted to the institution or not. And then if you decide not to submit your test scores, then we ask that you submit a supplemental essay. And so there's a lot of information that my colleagues have to share about their institutions, and we want to leave time for you all. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen now and go ahead and let the next presenter take over. Again, my name's Cody from Westminster. If you have questions, just give me a shout out.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Cody. I apologize, guys, for losing you for a moment. Let me share my screen with you. And my name is Alan Bodwin. I'm with the Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. Ironically enough, the School of Pharmacy and Health Sciences is the oldest university in the city of Boston, Massachusetts. We were founded nearly 200 years ago as not only the oldest university of higher education in the city of Boston, but the oldest school of pharmacy in the country. With Harvard Medical School built their campus across the street from us, and there's 6 Harvard hospitals around us. It really changed the complexion of who we were from just a pharmacy school to an everything medical school, including our direct entry nursing program. But the university enrolls just around 7,000 students, 1,000 incoming freshmen, 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, along with transfer and graduate students as well. And the hospitals down below, Brigham and Women's, Mass General, Boston Children's Hospital, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, those are Harvard University teaching hospitals. That's where all of our students do their internships, rotations, and clinicals through. And again, as I had said, as Harvard Med kind of built their campus across the street from us, it allowed us to branch out into all these other majors, including our nursing program, which you see is a direct entry, 3-year accelerated bachelor's degree program in which students go to school year-round, fall, spring, and summer. in that nursing program, there's not a loss of knowledge from one year to the next. And also by graduating a year early, they earn that extra year of income and don't have to wait to get started working until the following year or so. So they hit the ground running, like all of our majors, such as pre-dental hygiene. You can see diagnostic medical sonography, MRI, nuclear medicine technology, radiation therapy, and radiography. Of course, our School of Pharmacy, our School of Arts and Sciences, and our healthcare business. All of our students do their internships and rotations through Harvard Medical, and it allows many students to come in who may come in deciding, oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to go into your dual BS MD program. That's a dual Bachelor's of Science, 4 years undergraduate, 4 years graduate medical school, and they decide they don't want to do that. Maybe they want to go into nursing, or they come in nursing thinking that's what they want, and they decide they want to go into PA or pharmacy. So students are able to come in direct entry to all of these programs, and within the first 2 years, even though they're direct entry, they do have the leverage to move into another program if they want. But like nursing, all of our programs do their internships through the Harvard Teaching Hospitals. So whether you're a nursing major, whether you're a PA major, whether you're a pharmacy major, whether you're a PT or an MD or a DO, doctor of osteopathic medicine focuses on the entire body. A medical doctor focuses on specific symptoms of the human body. By utilizing the Harvard Teaching Hospitals, they're able to get experience in areas like HIV, cancer, diabetes, pediatric oncology, nuclear medicine, ambulatory care, drug and research development, diabetes, pediatric diabetes, and all of our majors, including that nursing program, in which 11 graduates last year were hired at Yale University to work in Yale's hospital. And all of them, 98% pass their boards, 100% get jobs, 80% go to med school, vet school, and dental school. And we hold on to roughly 95% of our student body. Our faculty, they're all doctors, nurses, and healthcare practitioners. In a school of 7,000 with a 15-to-1 student to faculty ratio, average class size 20, teaching assistants are able to assist in a lab only assist. They're not able to actually lead instruction. All of our courses, including labs and internships through the Harvard Teaching Hospitals, are led by professors who actually have the highest degree in their disciplines. So whether they're students majoring in nursing or PA or PT or pharmacy, you're getting a pharmacist, a physical therapist, a physician's assistant, a nurse teaching those courses. All of our deans are medical background led, and certainly they lead instruction lab in the internships as well. Each student has a team of people around them to ensure their success. We focus on student success and you becoming a healthcare practitioner. Each student will have an academic coach, an admissions counselor, and someone like myself, a financial aid counselor, and a peer mentor. Those folks that are in the tutoring department, they're actually the professors that are leading the instruction. IPE is something that we like to really focus on. Like my colleagues had mentioned before, and I can't agree with them anymore, they're absolutely right. A good healthcare practitioner, a good nurse, a good PA, a good physical therapist, a good pharmacist, a good doctor or dentist, they have great bedside manners. And the folks and the students and the applicants that don't go on to med school when they have to have their interview, or don't go on to, after they completed their nursing degree, and go on for their interview to be a nurse practitioner. I've been at the university since 2009. It's not because they don't have the grades, they can't pass the interviews due to their communication skills. That's really, really important. So my colleagues are correct. You got to have great bedside manners. Those are the best healthcare practitioners. You've got to be well-rounded. IPE, to give you an example, many patients talking about good bedside manners are a little nervous when they go to the dentist or the doctor, or seeing a nurse or a pharmacist, because we may not know what's wrong with us. And with dentists prodding and putting their hands in our mouths and drilling, it can be kind of nerve-wracking. So our healthcare psychology students collaborate with our dental students, as all of our majors do, in understanding the psychology of a patient and what they're going through before they see the healthcare specialist. So there's a lot more collaboration, not so much competition within each other, because it's all direct entry. Nursing students are in the nursing program, PA kids are in the PA program, pharmacy kids in the pharmacy program. So there's not anything to take away from one another. They only work together because they all want to go on and achieve the same common goal, and that's becoming a healthcare practitioner within their field. The internships through Harvard Medical School helps land students jobs back here in California. They work for Kaiser Permanente. I have a student this year doing a medical residency at the University of Southern California. She worked in the Boston's Children's Hospital. In her senior year, she was actually a pharmacy major, and she was working with a group of scientists and doctors to extract DNA to cure seizures and cancer. That landed her USC residency position. Jamie Wen of the Bay Area did some research through Harvard Med. He went back to the Bay Area. I can't remember if he was PA or pharmacy. He did a pediatric oncology rotation at Stanford Medical, turned down a full-time job offer at Kaiser Permanente, which hires many of our graduates, to take a residency at the University of Washington in Seattle. I think he's living and working up there because that's where he wanted to be. Yes, career success is number one. Our students do outperform Harvard and MIT, but going into healthcare is not making a lot of money. Yes, you want to be financially independent, but you're rewarded for serving the greater good by helping people. And that's why you should go into healthcare, because you want to help people. By doing so, you're rewarded by serving the greater good and rewarded financially for that. Just because we're a comprehensive medical healthcare school, just because nursing students, PA students, pharmacy students, medical students, they're musicians, they're artists, they're involved in theater. And so our students are able to major in medicine, whether that be nursing or any of our other majors, and minor in art or music. We also belong to a consortium of colleges called the Colleges of the Fenway in Boston, where you can cross-register and take these classes and minor, and also utilize other campuses, certainly utilize their cafeterias, their gyms. There's a lot of cross-pollination going on there. So certainly if you're not digging what we're serving in our cafeteria, you can certainly go to Harvard Med. They've always got a great cafeteria. They've always got good food. We do too, but it just gives you and provides you with a lot of options. Boston is really your campus, with MIT behind you, Harvard's main campus behind you, Harvard Medical across the street from you, BU, BC Tufts, 250,000 people, all under the age of 30, all college kids. They're all your age. They're coming from all over the world and all over the country to study in Boston. So your social network expands without the use of social media, just by walking and eating and dining and breathing and living in the city of Boston. Free tickets to Fenway Park for Red Sox and Yankees games or concerts. There are many of them that go on there, including the Boston Garden, not just Lakers and Celtics games, but concerts, free Broadway shows of the Boston Opera House. We give students train passes to take in the subway and bomb around the city. They can go down to New York City and see the Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving, or they can certainly all the time. You don't need Uber. You just take the T to the airport and fly home to California, which is our biggest out-of-state market, which brings on housing. We have many different options. There's traditional. There's also suite style, where 2 people on one side of the room, 2 people on the other, a kitchen, a living room in the middle, and your own bathroom. If you're a little bit uneasy about sharing a bathroom by floor, you can certainly choose a suite style, apartment style dorm, and have those amenities right in there with you. Or if you want to go the traditional route, you certainly can. If you have a food allergy, and I've seen a lot of those the past 12 to 14 years, we're certainly very sensitive to that. We take that very seriously. Definitely having a dorm with a kitchen so you can cook your own food, maybe sometimes residue from a particular food which causes an allergic reaction, may be exactly what you need. We provide that to you. So many different options there. No application fee, free to apply. We use the common application. Because of COVID-19 and the coronavirus, we're SAT, ACT optional. We're looking for just the common application, the transcript, a letter of recommendation, and certainly 2 essays, one on the Common App, and they have several to choose from, and then 1 supplemental essay is why you want to become a healthcare practitioner or research or working in the medical or healthcare field. Our decisions are not binding. Early Action 1 is November 1, Early Action 2 is December 1, and students typically hear back very shortly upon applying, and it's not binding. You're not forced to commit to come. And then our regular decision deadline is February 1st, and then the national signing day, candidate reply day, is May 1st. I like early action simply because It gives you more time to weigh the pros and cons and talk to students. Hopefully by that time in the spring, the world will be back to the way it was and you can visit all of us. And that's really important, by the way, especially going out of state. You want to visit these schools, talk to students from your neighborhood that attend our universities. That goes very far. The same things that are going through your mind right now went through theirs once upon a time. So connecting with them will help you do that. All of us will. Goes a long way. Modern day technology is amazing. You have the application portal, although I encourage you to reach out to us if you have any questions because we can get you answers quicker. But nowadays, by applying, you have an account and you're able, by setting up a password and an email, you're able to track your application documents, whether that's a transcript or a letter of recommendation. If you get an email reminder saying your application is incomplete, you just log in and you see what you're missing, and your guidance counselor can do something is just simply send the transcript to me. I can upload it to your account and we're good to go. Of course, as long at the end of the year, if you decide to come, as long as you mail in a final high school transcript sealed, that's certainly at the end. But as long as it comes from your guidance counselor, if it's a rush thing that you need to get in, that application portal comes in handy and allows you to do that and see exactly, what it is that you're missing. Or you can have everything in and life is good. Life is good with scholarships. We provide anywhere up from $8,000 to $16,000 per year. So whether you're with us for that popular 3-year accelerated nursing degree program or a 6-year direct entry PharmD degree, or the 8-year BSMD degree, or a 6-year PA program, or a 4-year health sciences program, that scholarship is renewable each and every year as long as you maintain a 2.5 GPA or higher. I'll leave that up for a moment. My name is Alan Bodwin again. It was a pleasure meeting you. And just so we can get everybody through and open up to questions, I'm going to pitch it to our next presenter. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I apologize for disappearing like that in the beginning. I don't know what happened, but we made a recovery and we're good to go. And with that, my pleasure to to hand the mic over to our next presenter.
All right. So thank you everybody for coming to this presentation. My name is Brett Hartnagel. I'm the Director of Admissions at the University of Minnesota, Rochester. The University of Minnesota, Rochester is part of the University of Minnesota system. So we are all Block M, maroon and gold. We are the 5th campus. We were the last one established in the system. We're in Southeast Minnesota, about an hour and a half south of the Twin Cities campus. And Rochester itself is the 3rd largest city in the state of Minnesota, behind the Twin Cities. And we were established because Rochester is growing. Rochester is now closing in on 150,000 residents. But the biggest number is 2 to 3 million visitors each year. And we get that because Rochester is home to the Mayo Clinic. The Mayo Clinic is the #1 hospital system in the United States, and Rochester is its home base. So we are known, Rochester, Minnesota, as Med City. We are home to many different medical and health companies, and Rochester is Rochester and Mayo are the #1 employers in the state of Minnesota. So with that, unlike my colleague at MCPHS, we are a very young institution. We were established in 2009 and opened our doors. So we've only been open for about 12 years, graduated our 8th class this past fall. We're just under 800 students. We are growing. We actually had our largest enrollment this past fall, despite the pandemic. But small university means small class sizes, and it means better connections with your professors and better connections with your staff. 96% of all of our classes are taught by full-time faculty who are experts in their field. And a unique thing about our campus is that we don't have separate departments like English and math and science. We have one department. So you can easily have a course where in your chemistry class, you are studying vaccinations and just what is the chemical makeup of vaccinations. In your sociology class or your ethics class, you're talking about why some people are against vaccinations and why some people are for it. And then in your writing class, you'll write the papers for both those classes, and all those professors and all those faculty members are communicating with each other. They are organizing and collaborating so that every course has a health science theme to it. Our campus is, we have a 42-40-38 split. So that's 42% students of color, 40% are first generation, and 38% of our students are Pell eligible. 80% of our students do come from the state of Minnesota, but we do have 20% coming from around the country. So a big decision we made as a university when we started was not having 100 different science programs. We know that for most of these healthcare careers, you're going to need to go to a graduate program or a PhD program, getting more than just your bachelor's degree. And so with that, it's not as much what your major is, it's what prereqs you need for those different career paths. So really it's more about what is your career, not what is your major. And so we decided to have one major program, which is health sciences. So it's one program, but you can go in 100 different directions with this program. Now, the most popular one is, of course, patient care. These are your students who are going to go pre-med, pre-nursing, dental, pharmacy, PT, OT, PA, anything with direct patient contact. But we know that there are hundreds of other careers in healthcare, and Mayo Clinic especially is trying to get students interested in these other careers because these are the areas that we actually need more assistance in. Areas like mental health. So we need more people interested in psychology, public health. Dr. Fauci is an epidemiologist. We need more people to go into public health, especially during times like these with a pandemic. Health technology is going to be a very up-and-coming industry with new jobs coming online each year. The business of healthcare, and of course, research. Mayo Clinic does as much research as any big-time Research One university, and our students have the ability to do be lab assistants, research assistants, then can go on to do PhD programs at Mayo Clinic. And so it's nice to have your part-time job be at the #1 hospital in the United States. We do have, so even though we have a broad field general health sciences major, we do have 3 specific direct pathways that are direct for certain careers. Nursing is one, PA or physician's assistant is the other, and then respiratory care is the third. These are all direct entry programs. They're just a little different in terms of how many years of prerequisites you need. Nursing, it's 1+3, 1 year prerequisites, and then your last 3 years will be nursing with your clinical rotations at Mayo. Respiratory is a 2+2, 2 years of prerequisites, and then the last 2 years will be entirely at the Mayo Clinic, and you'll get a certified as a respiratory therapist. PA is a little different. It's a 3+2 program where your first 3 years will be your bachelor's and your last 2 will be at the Mayo Clinic, getting your master's in PA from the Mayo Clinic. So PA and respiratory both have certificate programs and master programs connections with Mayo. Nursing, your clinicals will be done at Mayo. But these 3 students will need to decide on their application if they're interested in one of these 3. We do have a vibrant student life, even though we're such a young institution and a small school. We have lots of different clubs and organizations, from pre-professional, cultural, philanthropy, which is a big avenue for UMR. We have a lot of different entities like the American Cancer Society, to Ronald McDonald House. We always like to give back to our community, and we have a lot of student organizations. We don't have sports in terms of NCAA, but we do have intramural sports that students can participate in. We do have housing on campus. All of our housing is apartment style, so you get a full kitchen, a washer dryer in the unit. These are probably the best accommodations you'll find pretty much anywhere for incoming freshmen. Freshmen do have to live on campus their first year, but can live off campus. And then all of downtown Rochester is connected via Skyway. So that means that you can go from your dorm to your classroom to your internship at Mayo to get something to eat and back and never have to go outside. It does snow a little bit in Minnesota. It does get a little bit of cold, so that's good for those cold February days. As far as admissions is concerned, we are going test optional as well for all of our programs. We do accept the common application, but we also have our Raptor application, which is our institutional application. But all we need is your application and your transcripts, and we can give you a response within 2 to 4 weeks. Scholarships, you are automatically considered once you apply to the university. We do have a Mayo 4-year scholarship as well that you would apply for separately. For California students, you are paying in-state Minnesota rate. We have no out-of-state tuition for California students. And with that, we will now open it back up to questions. So I will stop sharing my screen. And if you want to type in any of your questions in the Q&A, we will go ahead and try to answer those. I would say for the group, try to answer or ask any question that we all can try to answer. We would love to also answer your individual questions privately. And while we wait for a question, I guess if we all want to go around, just real quick, are all of you doing on-campus visits right now? I can say for UMR, we are doing a visit. We are doing individual visits. So.
You mean
Tours on campus?
Oh, tours on campus in person and not virtual?
Yes.
Oh, wow. No, MCPHS is just doing virtual visits right now. Hopefully in the future we'll move towards getting back to in-person.
Awesome.
University of Houston, we're not doing in-person visits, unfortunately. Hopefully I'm holding out hope for next semester, but as of right now, we're just doing virtual visits. But we do have opportunities to do like guided tours, so we can get some of our, I've done these, we can get some of our students to give you guys guided tours. So if you want to check out the campus, connect with me and I can make that happen.
And Westminster is doing in-person visits as well. So everybody has virtual. So if they didn't say they're doing virtual, I feel confident they have virtual visits. But Westminster, all we ask is that you give us at least 24 hours in advance, which is pretty reasonable, especially if you're coming out of state. And so really it's up to you, but anywhere you can go in person these days, I think is always great. Plus a little travel opportunities for anybody in here. If you can at least go to their campuses, go to their cities.
So we have a question. Do all of these schools accept transfer students? And if so, how does it work? I think I can say for the group, we all accept transfer students. I guess for UMR specifically, the PA program does not accept transfer. It's a freshman only program. And nursing is very limited in terms of how many students it will accept. Alan?
Okay. Yes, we accept transfer students. We have a lot of them. Just make sure that you have at least a 3.0 or above in your science classes, especially make sure you have bio or chem. Absolutely, we welcome you with open arms.
University of Houston definitely accepts transfer students. We are pretty streamlined with our transfers. So same thing with freshman admissions. We practice assured admissions with transfer students. For a transfer student, you would need a 2.5 GPA and 15 credit hours, and you can apply as a transfer student and qualify for assured admissions. Now, if you apply to programs in engineering, you will need a 3.2 GPA, and if you apply to a program in natural sciences and mathematics, you'll need a 3.0. And our nursing program, like Brett's school, is also very limited in the number of transfer students that they'll take from nursing for nursing, but I think it's still worth it to apply. But there are just certain like stipulations that you have to be aware of.
Awesome, and similar story to everyone else. We welcome transfer students as well. If you're looking at the nursing program specifically, that one has a little earlier deadline, but for all of the other programs, you can apply really pretty late in the game if you need to. But contact any of us individually if you're looking at specific programs.
And I would say reach out to all of us individually, just because we will probably all look at your credits differently in terms of not just what we will accept, but also your timeline to completion once you enroll at the university. So the earlier you could share your credits with the schools that you're interested in transferring to, the easier it is for us to give you not an exact telling of how we'll accept it, but a pretty close estimate. Great question.
And also one thing to add, if you're a high school senior and you're looking to transfer and eventually later on, connect with the schools that you're looking, like as my colleagues have mentioned, connect with the schools that you're targeting to transfer into. Make sure you get those prereqs, and a lot of our, all medical majors were accredited and they're licensed by law, so there are certain prerequisites and grades that are needed in order to transfer in successfully. So certainly I would take the advice of those, the gentleman from Rochester, and connect with us, and then take that information back to the advisor at the community college or wherever it is you're going to transfer from, and make sure that you have those courses and the grades that are needed to successfully make the transition very smooth.
All right. Well, I think we're out of time.
Okay, all, yes, we are out of time. So thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. And we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. Also, this is just one of the many sessions that we are hosting. If you want to go back onto the website and sign up for more sessions, we'll be here all week up until October 2nd. And in about a week or so, all these sessions, since they're being recorded, they're going to be up on the website in about a week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.